project that I have for you today is these cute little thread catchers. Now you see it, and now you don't. My name is Gail, and I'd like to welcome you to How To Tuesday with Lori's Country Cottage. The thread catchers that we're going to be making today, mine I made out of this fabric here by Northcott Fabrics called Material Girl. As soon as I saw all the sewing related theme on the fabric, I fell in love with it and I knew exactly what I wanted to make with it. These thread catchers are a quick, easy project and would make wonderful gifts for all your quilting friends. So to make this project, what you're going to need is a can of Pringles potato chips. I went for the lightly salted. It was my excuse to be a good girl and enjoy my potato chips. You will need a marking pen. You will need fabric for the outside of it. You will need a couple squares of fabric for the bottom of the thread catcher. You will need some cardboard. I just used the back of a cereal box. And you will need a couple little scraps of batting. So to make this project, I started with my Pringles can, and I took an X-Acto knife, and with resting my Pringles can on a sturdy surface, I went around the bottom edge of the can to remove the metal part. Then I took an ordinary ruler and I just held it up against my Pringles can. I took a Sharpie marker and I measured 1/2 inch and I made a mark. I measured another 1/2 inch, I made another mark. I went around my can doing this with my ruler and my marking pencil until I had 1/2 inch marked all the way around. Then I took my X-Acto knife and I cut out 1/2 inch rings from my Pringles can. I think I figured it out that with one tall Pringles can, you can get about 18 of these 1/2 inch rings. The 1/2 inch ring is what makes the sturdy portion at the top of the thread catcher. After you have your Pringles can all prepped, what you're going to do is you need to trace some circles onto your cardboard. So your circle needs to be smaller in diameter than your Pringles can circle. As you can see, mine has about a good 1/8 of an inch or maybe even 3/16 of an inch smaller than my Pringles can circle. You need that gap all the way around so that when you twist it together into this, it pushes up easily into that Pringles can circle. So I'm quick and easy, so I went to the cupboard and I found a glass that would work. So I just put it down on my cereal box, traced around it. You're going to need 2 circles for one of these, and then you're just going to cut them out. Then I took my 2 scraps of batting. I put my glass down on there again. I traced around, and I cut out 2 circles of batting. Then you need to cut out your circles that are going to make the bottom of the thread catcher. So you need a bigger glass or whatever you have on hand. Batman to the rescue, trace that around and cut that out. So now you have all the pieces that you need to have for the bottom of your thread catcher. Now to make the body of the thread catcher, you need to have a piece of fabric that's 8 inches wide. You need to take your measuring tape and you need to measure how big around your Pringles can is. Mine measures 9 1/4 inches. You need to add 1/2 inch to that for your seam allowance, and that's how tall you're going to cut your piece of fabric. So in my case, it was 9 1/4 plus 1/2 is 9 3/4. So my fabric is 9 3/4 by 8 inches. So now you have everything all cut and you're ready to go. You're going to take the body piece of fabric and you're going to press 1/4 of an inch on each of the long edges. Then you're going to take this to the sewing machine. You're going to put the short edges together, open up that 1/4 inch that you pressed on the outside edge, and you're going to sew this with a 1/4 inch seam. Then you're going to have this. You're going to take this seam that you just made and you're going to press it open. I just finger pressed it, and then I folded up my little 1/4 inch seam again, and I pressed the ends with an iron. So then you have a little tube that's going to make the body of your thread catcher. You're going to take your Pringles can ring and you're going to put it onto the tube. You're going to take your tube and you're going to fold it down so the right sides are out over top of that little ring. I always find where my seam is, and that's what I'm going to match up, so I know that when I start sewing my thread catcher together, I am not twisting my fabric. You're going to make the bottom edges match where you have those nicely pressed up edges, and you're just going to wiggle your Pringles can circle up to the top. You're then going to take some pins, and you're going to put some pins around the bottom to hold this nice with the edges matching. And you're going to take some pins and you're going to feel for the base of your cardboard circle, and you're just going to put some pins in to hold that up at the top. So pin a few pins all the way around the top and the bottom. And now you're going to take a needle and thread, and you're just going to do a simple running stitch around the top, right at the base of that cardboard ring. So this is what's going to hold this up at the top all the time so that your ring doesn't slip around inside your thread catcher. So it's just a matter of going in and out, and going all the way around doing a running stitch. Once you have that all done, it's going to look like this. So the top is nicely secured all in here, and now it's time to get the bottom ready and put the bottom on. So you have your circles that you cut out of your fabric for the bottom. You are going to take a needle and thread, and I like to use a double thread for this because when I'm pulling it up to gather it, if I use a single one, I must tug way too tight because I have a tendency to break my thread. So I always use a double thread, and you are just going to run a simple running stitch all the way around the outside edge of this. Do it from the right side. Then flip it over. You're going to take a circle of batting. You're going to put it down, centering it on. Then you're going to take one of your cardboard circles and you're going to put that down on top. Then you're just going to pull up on your thread and it's going to gather right around your circle, giving you a really nice round circle for the bottom of your thread catcher. So you need to make 2 of those. When you have 2 of them made, you're just going to put them wrong sides together, clip them in place with a couple of wonder clips, and then you need to stitch them together. I just used a single thread, and you can stitch this together using your favorite stitch, a whip stitch, a ladder stitch, whatever you decide that you would like to use. Once you have those sewn together, they're going to look like this. So now your base is made, and it is really nice and sturdy for the bottom of the thread catcher. You are going to take your thread catcher now, and we're going to do, you have 2 layers of fabric. One's going to be on the inside and one's on the outside. We're going to stitch this base circle to the inside first. So this is how it would stand finished. So we're just going to move the fabric through the cardboard tube so that we have the inside part. You're going to take your circle, and once again I match up my side seam. You're going to take this base circle, you're going to put it in there, and you're just going to take some pins and you're going to pin it in place all the way around. I like using the silk pins because they're nice and sharp and they're not too long. Oops, missed it. So you're just going to pin this going all the way around so that you can get ready for stitching. Once you have this in place all the way around, you are going to stitch the cardboard circle that's on the outer side to this outer piece of fabric all the way around. Your cardboard circle is smaller than this, so you're going to have to do a little bit of easing in as you go around, but it goes really easy. It's not hard at all. Once you have that all sewn around, you're just going to push it back through your cardboard Pringles can circle again. And now we have the outside of the fabric showing. And once again, you are going to just secure this with a few pins going all the way around, and you're going to take this outer layer of fabric again, and you're going to stitch it to the outer cardboard circle. So now it's all secure. You're going to have to do some easing in again, but once again, it's really, really easy. Once you've got that sewn to both sides of the fabric, you are done. You have a beautiful little thread catcher. So, sewing by your sewing machine, I snip my threads, I throw them in here. Hopefully I'll be wearing less by the time I'm all done. You can have this with you in the car if you're doing some stitching as you're traveling as a passenger. You can have this beside you as you're watching TV if you're sewing binding on around a quilt or any kind of thread work that you happen to be doing. When you're done, push all the little threads down to the bottom. Just give this a twist and push the bottom up through into the little Pringle can ring, and it's nice and compact, ready for travel. I hope you enjoyed this project. They don't take long to make. It's kind of like a reuse, reduce, recycle kind of project because you use a Pringles can, cardboard from a cereal box, and scraps around that you have at home. I'd like to talk now about a little project that we have right over here. It's a sewing machine cover. It was made by Barb, one of our instructors here at Laurie's Country Cottage. The pattern is called Undercover. This is a sturdy quilted cover that comes in 3 different sizes that will fit most popular sewing machines. There are a variety of pockets on it. You can store your manual, your pedal, your cords, and much more. On the left-hand side of the bag, there's a mesh pouch. On the right-hand side of the bag, there's a little zippered pouch. On the back of the bag, the pattern comes with 2 options for the back pocket to have an opening either on the top or on the side. On the top of the bag, the 2 flaps have magnetic snaps, so your top of your sewing machine stays covered, yet if you need to access the handle, you have easy access. This is a great pattern by Annie, and it's a great way to protect your beautiful sewing machine. I hope you enjoyed our presentation today. Thanks for joining us.